Y'all ready to be history?
Get started.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
To the Pro Audio Suite.
These guys are professional. They're motivated.
With Tech to the VO stars. George Whittam, founder of Source Elements. Robert Marshall, international audio engineer. Darren Robbo Robertson. And global voice. Andrew Peters. Thanks to Tribooth. Austrian Audio. Making passion heard. Source Elements. George the Tech Whittam. And Robbo and AP's international demos. To find out more about us, check theproaudiosuite.com.
Line up, ladies!
Here we go.
And welcome to another Pro Audio Suite.
Thanks to Austrian Audio, making passion heard.
I don't know what to say. Good enough.
Well, we were gonna have a chat about Macs this week because just before we started recording, and AP is fine, by the way, who I think he's just dropped off the edge of the planet. He does live down the bottom of Australia, so maybe he went for a walk a bit too far and he's dropped off the end of the world or something.
It really did.
But yeah, we were chatting before recording here. We were talking about Mac. How they've dropped one of the versions of their Mac Mini, and we're having a chat about their new laptops and stuff. So we thought there might be an episode in that, didn't we, boys?
Yeah, it's an interesting time.
Because I was saying how good of a deal those M4s were. I'm kind of addicted to used computers and whatnot, and I was saying how, finally Apple has a value that I was like, I'm not buying a used computer. And we bought a couple of those M4s for
a Mac Mini M4 baseline.
$600, I think.
$600 with 16 gigs of memory. The base machines were all 8 gigs for a long time. What pushed them into 16 gig at the base model was the neural engine. Right. They needed the extra memory for the
neural engine,
on-chip processing, whatever, for all the AI stuff that they never did. Maybe they will, but they haven't. So basically, you're buying these computers. They're like mini supercomputers, but they don't have the software to even utilize them. Well, guess what? There are some people out there who are using very, very demanding software now called AI. OpenClaw is one of them.
That's a different episode.
Yeah, well, they're realizing the Apple Mac Mini Silicon architecture with all the neural cores and all this stuff. They're basically beasts of a computer at a very, very affordable price. This is like the only time in history dealing with Apple where you can really say the Apple is the better price per performance than a PC.
It seems like Intel has lost a lot of ground in their chip competitiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it got so popular that just recently Apple eliminated the entry point Mac Mini SKU. So if you go to buy a new Mac Mini now, you're looking for the $599. It ain't there. They just don't have it. It's not out of stock. It's not, you just can't buy one. And so I bet if you go on eBay and find one of those, I bet you anything it's selling for more than it was new because...
Or it's selling for exactly what it was new,
or
except
damn
it's
close
not
to
new. Yeah.
Yes. They're just not available. And it's a really weird time we're in because of the demand on those computers. But if you've got a Mac Mini, and really any of the generations of M chip, M1 through the current M4, don't get rid of it because it's still an incredibly viable computer. I'm running an M1 base model. Mine's not a base. It's got 16 gigs of memory, but it's still fabulous.
And that's from like 2020. That thing's
2020. Yeah, I couldn't be more happy.
And I'll say this, funny enough, the new one, it's a little bit taller than yours, but it travels a lot better. So one of the things I did is I got the M4 because I needed a better on-the-road computer for doing sessions. And it got to the point where my 2019 MacBook, Intel-based, it just wasn't cutting it for streaming video and running Pro Tools and running Source Connect and running a sound effects library. And it would work, but you were always kind of sweating it if it was going to do something stupid or just do like a 5-minute pause. Yeah. So I was looking at another laptop, or here's that M4 for $600. Yeah. So an M4 for $600. No, it doesn't have a battery. A $60 little 15-inch, 17-inch screen, keyboard and mouse, and you've got a really awesome road computer, and it travels like a laptop in the sense that it's just the thing fits in the palm of your hand. it's nothing.
Yeah, the Mac Mini M4, the new generation, it looks like an Apple TV. I don't know if you know what those look like, but they're pretty small, little rectangular, rounded little guys. The M4 is similar form factor. It's just diminutive. It just doesn't make sense.
It's like two Apple TVs stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense that it could be that good for how small it is.
And I don't think it has a fan.
It does, but you'll never hear it. You'll never hear it.
Okay. Yeah.
But do you reckon, and you guys are closer to the sort of, probably George, even you, closer to the coalface on this than me, but do you reckon even that Mac Mini is partly overkill?
Oh, yes.
Like most of our audience of voiceover artists, right? For me, that Mac Mini would still be way more than you could ever possibly even get close to pushing to the limit.
That's why I steered Andrew to the Neo.
Yeah.
Because, it's like for the convenience, it's got the screen in there. It's got no fan. There's a certain number of advantages for a voiceover talent that doesn't necessarily need the power for video streaming and whatnot. And those Neos are also, I think, $700. Are they, George? How much are those? I think
$599 US.
Yeah, so they're also a good deal, and they're running off of a cell phone chip. But when you benchmark it, it's still competitive with a really top of the line computer from 2020-ish or 20. I'd say that Neo just gets to where the best i9 or in that area of the i9 chips were that you were spending $3,000 on.
So a 13-inch Neo with what's that?
I think it only has one spec.
It's about $850 here. Yeah,
$850. That's a good price. Anything under $1,000 in Australia.
That's a good price. Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
It's just a great deal. So Apple, the Neo is a really interesting machine. I had a client of mine buy two because he likes to have duplicates of everything, and so he bought two. And he was trying to just plug it into a 4K LG monitor on his desk. It couldn't figure out what to do with the monitor. It couldn't hang. It couldn't handle it. And so I started looking into its spec for external monitors. Well, it has two USB ports, but only one of them is DisplayPort compatible. So really only one of the ports will work with displays. And then it's still not a bad spec. It'll run a 60 hertz refresh screen 4K. But apparently just certain monitors are running at higher.
This is common. The Mac Studio, not all the USB ports are equal, and only some of them work fully with certain displays.
Well,
and I think the same thing is true of the Mac Mini.
The crazy thing is the only display that this gentleman happens to own in his studio at home is a couple LGs and an Apple Studio display. Now, a lot of people don't
he's got
buy
two
this.
of each, though.
Yeah, the Apple Studio display. Well, he has two of each because he has two residences. So he likes to have parity, everything between the two.
Yeah. So are his two houses exactly the same?
Exactly. The same square feet. They're both 1,240 square feet. That would be really weird. That would be exceedingly weird. That I have not seen yet. I've seen some weird stuff.
Welcome to the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Right. Set A and set B. Reset set A. Let's go.
He's got a wife at that house, a wife. They're exactly the same dimensions.
They look exactly the same.
Same dog.
Same dog.
Yeah. Spuds.
I hope he's listening to this. He's laughing his ass off right now. Anyway, yes, the Neo, sorry, it played nicely with the Studio display, but not the LGs, which is really weird because these displays aren't that different, really, in a lot of ways. They're really similar. So it makes me wonder, is there a special little handshake in the Apple's display that it just goes, "Oh, hi Neo, I know, hey."
That little gem is inbuilt somewhere. Yeah,
I don't put it past Apple. I mean, Apple used to put chips on their power cords for the cell phones.
That's right. Yeah.
So you know about that, George, right?
Fake.
Wait, what?
You couldn't buy a power cord for a lightning cable. You go oh, look, there's a lightning cable that's $10, and there's another lightning cable that's $30. I'll buy the $10 one. And then one day you do the right update on your iPhone, and your $10 lightning cable won't charge your cell phone because Apple put in what's called the MiFi chip.
Oh,
and they went, "Oh, you're not an Apple charge cable."
Yeah, well,
don't you still have to license that now, even if you want to make charges?
Yeah, they make a licensing fee from everyone who makes power cables.
It's not exclusive to Apple anymore.
They claim it's for the safety of the phone and it won't damage. It's not. It's for the safety of the bottom line.
That died with Lightning.
Did it?
Yes.
That died with
yeah, it
lightning.
died with, yeah.
You have to thank our European friends who lobbied for the death of the lightning cable, because
Yes.
they did. They were like, USB-C or nothing. And
Noah
Apple,
Trevor, or what's
Yeah.
the guy's name from comedy? Noah, Noah Trevor, is it?
Oh, Trevor Noah. Yeah, the
Trevor Noah.
old host
He-
of Daily Show. Yeah.
He did a hilarious thing about like, that Europeans have got it really good when this is what they're complaining about. Like, he does this whole bit like, I was sitting over at the doctor's office, which I don't have to pay for. And I was thinking, like, gosh, like, it's so stupid that I have to have this cable and that cable. Why couldn't I just have one cable? And I thought, this and that, and somehow he ties it into because I thought this was a genius idea because I went to college, which I didn't have to pay for. It's like all this stuff. He's like, okay, Europeans are now solving problems that like,
Yeah. Well, it's
USB
crazy,
cable.
but it's true. I mean, that's the reason lightning is gone. So, now we're like looking at like, damn, here's a Mac Mini M4 256 gig for $499. But it's on auction. People are getting
it's gonna
smart.
go. It's gonna go for the full price. You
Yeah,
watch.
it's not buy it now. I was going to buy it. I was literally going to say, hang on, I got to buy this Mac, but it's on auction. But
There's an impulse buy if you ever saw one. Yeah.
But the Neo, I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. We were talking about Lightning port. The Lightning port thing. I'm glad to see it go. There's a lot of us with Apple mice and stuff that are Lightning. You got to keep that cord around to charge them and stuff. And
You can buy little Lightning to USB-C 3 adapters.
yeah, I've got little ones attached with a little tiny silicone lanyard thing that hooks to the cord. So whenever my girlfriend plugs her iPhone 12 in, it's got the little adapter and she plugs it in, And but yeah, I'm glad to see that go, because I mean, not only leaving that port behind solved so many problems, including just now that USB-C is a standard that's cross-platform, it means that you can take that same audio interface, and as long as it's class compliant, Passport
up to your
VO,
iPad.
SSL, Scarlett is, you can plug that into an iPad, an iPhone. They will all talk to the device, record, and play back like a normal device.
So here's a cool little opportunity for everyone still running a Lightning iPhone. If you've used them, the Shure MV88, do you know what I'm talking about?
The little mic that plugs into the base of the phone, right?
Yeah, they're really good.
Right, little tiny guy
MS.
with. Does that
It's an MS microphone.
Yes,
yeah,
my
it's stereo.
mid-side, right?
Freaking good. And I just snagged one for, I think I got it for $25 plus $5 shipping or something.
Sweet.
Yeah, and that was like a lot more expensive. I think probably those were $100
Sure.
new.
MV88, right?
Yeah, they have a new USB version of it, and those
Sure.
are more. But the Lightning versions are like, people are just hawking them now. So if you're still, I'm still on an iPhone 11.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it'll make a really good recording.
Yeah.
You got like a little $25, $50 at the most. I wouldn't pay more than $50 for them. Mm-hmm. And it's a
Here's
sweet
one.
little
Buy
mic.
it now, $40 free shipping. Yep, for the Lightning.
Good
one.
deal. It's a really good.
So we're talking Shure MV88 stereo USB microphone, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, but the
Do you
Lightning
want to know how
versions-
much they are here? $399.
But that's the USB-C version.
That's the
So
new.
look
the new
for a
SKU.
Lightning. That's exactly my
Lightning.
point. The Lightning ones
Yeah.
are now been devalued because
because they're no longer. Yeah.
So
okay.
so can you buy a cable that's a cute little clever adapter that goes from Lightning to USB-C and plug
I
it
bet
into
it
your
doesn't
phone?
work.
I don't know, because I mean usually some of these things work. For instance, George, if you remember the Alesis thing that you gave me,
Yeah, the dock.
I found a 30-pin to Lightning adapter,
Yeah. Remember that?
and it works.
Sure. Nice.
I can't get any software that's meaningful, on it, but it's still kind of cool.
Do you stick your iPhone 11 in there?
No, I have
old
my
iPad.
iPad. I can use it with an iPad 1 or an iPad Air, old iPad Air.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I have this weird thing about like, I just like seeing old things work again.
I do too.
Like,
There's just
it's like,
something about it. It's just like this thing got devalued in an arbitrary way, but it's absolutely still a useful piece of hardware. It's just, it's so frustrating that that's been made legal and normal, And I know we've had these right to repair act things pass in the U.S. and do they really have any teeth or not? And does it really matter? I don't know if you know about this, Robbo, but we literally try to pass a law that says products have to be repairable.
Yeah. Oh, well, not only they have to be repairable, but you as the manufacturer cannot say that I am the only party that will repair this.
Yeah. Repairable by the user.
By the user. You are allowed to get into it. Like Tesla caused this problem. A lot of manufacturers cause this problem. And
if you
I think Apple might have been one of them.
You open the bonnet or hood of a Mercedes, and there was literally a plastic lid over the fucking engine bay, and it says there are no user serviceable parts under this cover.
Well,
like, are you kidding me?
Apple would come up with a new head for the screws every couple of years, so that you'd have to buy some stupid screwdriver that they patented so that you couldn't get into it.
And they're
or a
so
classic
tiny.
example of Apple is the original classic Macs.
Yeah.
They made the hole for the screw to get into it so far. You needed a screwdriver that was like a foot deep to be able to like open it. They would just make it so that you couldn't get into the goddamn thing unless, it's like purposeful.
Yes. They are like
well,
that.
here's one for you. This is a very Aussie one. My old man gave me his chainsaw, which he bought it back in the 80s. We used to have Dad was a country boy, grew up in the country, and we had a hobby farm that was 30 acres we used to go up to every weekend because Dad wanted to teach my brother and me.
Nice. That's good.
About country life and all that sort of shit.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's had this chainsaw that long, and he gave it to me recently because he's just turned 83 and he's sort of like, I can't use this anymore. Do you want it? And I went, yeah, okay, I'll take it. And I tried to start it. And
did he give you the hockey mask with it?
It wasn't right. Yes, that's right. That's right, exactly. So anyway, look, it's a Stihl chainsaw, right? So it's a pretty good brand. So I took it to the local Stihl place and sort of said, look, this is the story. Can you fix it for me? And he looked at it and he said, I can't touch it. And I said, why? I said, because you're still, and there's no brake, hand brake on the thing. So when you pull
it's illegal now.
So legally he's not allowed to touch it.
Oh.
And he said to me, don't tell anyone I told you this, but here's this guy, Gordon, here's Gordon's number. Give him a call. Right?
Gordon doesn't give a shit.
I called Gordon. Well, Gordon, right, here's the thing, right? I feel good on two levels here. Gordon, I just got a message from Gordon.
He's the Shade Tree gas.
Do you know how much Gordon charges an hour? Gordon charges $34 for his labor an hour.
Oh my God, that's
He's
cheap.
fixed my chainsaw. It cost me $72.
That's awesome.
Right? And Gordon is about the same age as my dad. He's a little bit younger than my dad. He's in his early 80s. And the only reason he's working is because his wife has cancer and he can't afford her care. So he's working again. So it made me feel good on a whole bunch of levels.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's like, how fucked is that you don't have, but that, as I said to him, that's my call. If I'm stupid enough to cut my hand off with the chainsaw, how's that your problem?
Right. That shit happens all the time though. Like, I have an air conditioning system that like popped a leak and it just needed to be fixed. Like it was possible to weld it. And they're like, I'm sorry, we've changed the fluid that needs. So now you have to get a whole entire new air conditioning system, inside units, outside units, supposedly because it ran the wrong fluid through the tube. You have to change the tubes that go through the house. Like really, really huge increase in price to deal with this. And you're thinking, okay, they changed the fluid because one fluid is more environmentally safe than the other.
Right.
But what is the environmental impact of all new freaking metal units? And I was like, really?
That's the
like,
stupidity of the whole argument though, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's literally in the same thing that the air conditioning guy's like, I am legally not allowed to fix this.
Yeah. Totally unrelated, but since you're on a tangent, skis. If you take your skis into a ski shop and have them tune your skis, your bindings, if they're too old, they won't touch them.
They won't
I think
touch
it's
them
7
either.
or 8 years. They're like, those are too old. I can't work on them.
Wow.
I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. But, I mean, to bring this thing back on track, though, I mean, it's just occurred to me listening to us talk about this, though, right? Getting back onto the Mac subject is, yes, you know, even at these prices, you probably are paying a little more than you would for something that's not a Mac. But I think the other thing about Mac is its longevity. I mean, I've got a 2010 cheese grater sitting under my desk that still runs as reliably today as it did the day I bought it. You know,
Until
now
it
it's a
goes
server.
Okay, until it goes full freaking circle. Here's a funny Mac story. Okay, so certain Macs can't get past High Sierra. And at this point, High Sierra is a pretty big cliff. You can't do proper web browsing. There's not the security. It's like you really like if you're doing anything that reaches out to the public world, High Sierra is now like it's the Voyager spacecraft and it's off. You can't get back to it. So I'm looking at this iMac, and I'm like, I don't need it for like not reaching out to the internet. So I was trying to boot camp it. And if you know what boot camping is, it's basically installing Windows on it. Well, okay, I install Windows on it. The audio chip doesn't work. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be defeated. So I find out that if you run the boot camp in a specific way, you can get the audio chip to work. You basically have to you can't dual boot it. You have to completely kill the Mac side and make it purely a Windows machine.
Because Windows doesn't like sharing it? Is that what it is?
It's in the way it formats the hard drive, and because of the way it formats the hard drive, the way it boots up, if you boot it up with this initial Mac boot, the Windows will never see the audio hardware. But if you initialize the BIOS with the original whatever Windows BIOS or motherboard BIOS,
it has to run a virtual BIOS
if you're doing the dual boot. But if you don't run a virtual BIOS, then it sees all the hardware on the motherboard and you get the whole computer. I mean, camera, audio, the whole deal. So, you know, the way they do the installers, this and that, you can't go straight to Windows 10. I had to go find Windows 8. You can't get it at the Windows. I had to go download Windows 8, install Windows 8, upgrade Windows 8 to Windows 10. And now I have my my iMac from my mom. And it has a better life as a Windows machine than a Mac, because at least Windows 10 is still running. Actually, Windows just deprecated Windows 10 too. They just
they cut that off, didn't they? Yeah.
They killed it too, but it's still getting some security updates, and it drives a little bit further into the sunset than.
Why didn't you just put Linux on it and be done with it?
I'll do that with my dad's machine when he gets rid of it. It's the same thing.
Because I did the same thing with a 10-year-old MacBook Air. You know, it was my
Would
computer
you put it into?
It's called MX.
MX. Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those things where I just stumbled on a YouTube video, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, this guy's like, here's how you do it. You know, here's the links. And it was
here's the problem with George and I. George and I will throw 4 hours or a whole night at doing some stupid project like this.
I'm not kidding. This was less than 2 hours. This was less than finding the video, finding my MacBook Air on the shelf, finding an 8 gig thumb drive, formatting it, installing the MX installer, plugging it into the Mac Mini or MacBook Air, booting from the USB drive, because it boots the system off the disk, the drive.
Yeah.
Then it says, now you're running Linux. And you're like, oh, cool. And then it's like, it works. You want to install it now? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then it installs it. I was like, Jesus, this is easy.
I put Ubuntu on my old Pismo, if you know, the Mac Pismo, if you know what that is. It was like when they had the black laptops.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did Ubuntu on that. At that time, I mean, like you could run a web browser and that was it. Yeah.
This thing runs, this thing has full access to all the hardware, the audio, the video, the Wi-Fi, everything works. I can browse the web.
Does Reaper make a Linux version? They do. I think Reaper does make a Linux version.
Audacity does for sure.
I think Reaper does too.
Reaper may as well. Yeah,
it's funny. Like Linux is pretty badass and probably runs with a 50th of the memory that frickin' Windows takes.
The whole install of Linux, the whole install was 3 gigabytes, right? So I think Mac OS Modern is 12, 14 gigs, at least. And I mean, the installer is 14 gigs.
What's so funny is that the thing I ran into with doing this iMac was that in order to make the installation work, I had to install it from a DVD. And I got lucky because I only had 2 burnable DVDs left in my entire house. And the first one failed. And I was
I can't believe you had any.
Yeah. And one of the things I had to do is like Mac OS would only let you burn the DVD at full speed. And that's what messed it up. And I found a separate burn program that would run it at half speed burn or 2x. And that second one burned one that verified. And I was like, let's boot it. And I got Windows 8 in that thing.
Oh, man. That is so much nostalgia. I threw out so many blank DVDs and DVD-Rs and CDRs, and Oh my gosh, pancakes. You know that we have a stack of 100.
Yeah.
I just put it out by the dumpster and like hopefully somebody uses it.
What pissed me off is I found a stack in my basement of like, and it was like, it said DVDs, and then I'm like, oh, a DVD, and then the third one down was like CD. It's like, damn it! Like this is like 2 DVDs on the top. By the way, yes, Reaper does have a Linux version.
There you go, running Linux. Yeah.
The total irony, just continuing on from that previous conversation, the total irony is that in this house now, the only CD and DVD player that is in this house is my old Mac that sits under my desk. There's nothing if I want to get, because I still got shit on CD.
Dude,
and if I want to
so
get
many
it off, that's
people
the
probably
only
have
place.
a bunch of stuff, and it's like, go find, like, move your archives forward in the world, because if not, like, I remember I had the chance to unarchive all my Pro Tools sessions that were on DDS3, if you remember what that is at Robbo.
Yeah, I do.
And it's like, now, like, good luck if the drive even works, or finding the software that runs the drive.
That's right.
To get it's like those archives.
What was that dedicated software that everyone used to use? That
Gray matter response Mezzo.
Mezzo, that's it.
Yes, that's exactly it. Go, because all those discs, all those tapes are Mezzo, and the glory of Mezzo was this: you could be the messiest MF in the world and have your Pro Tools session with audio files all over your whole desktop, like on everywhere on your computer, and you would just drag the Pro Tools session. This was back when Avid let third parties read the Pro Tools session. So Mezzo would read the Pro Tools session and go collect all the audio.
Yeah. So you didn't even have to think about it. You just knew it was there.
Jeez, that's pretty impressive for the time.
I know. Can you imagine that sort of sense of security now? Now you're sort of, madly double checking.
That's
everything,
another, Yeah, it almost goes back to that kind of right to repair thing. Like, there was a software that was enhancing another software, and then Avid makes a move and kills it. Like, and now, like, they locked up the Pro Tools file format, and now the only people that can read and write a Pro Tools file is Pro Tools.
Here's a real life consequence of that, right? And I'm so lucky that I've never had to go back to this session. But about 3 years ago, I did a complete repackage for a station that I do some work for. I basically rebuilt all the imaging on their station for them, and at the time I just installed. I must have rebooted, or sort of redone my computer, like given it a complete zap and started again. But I hadn't clicked where it drags to in Pro Tools, where you tell it to drag the audio into your audio folder. I hadn't checked that in settings, so it was reading it from the locations wherever it landed. So I didn't realize that, and I had to go. I wanted to go back to it about 2 years ago, or a year or so ago, because I wanted to find something to put on a demo that I had to do for someone, and there was nothing there. Well, most of it wasn't there. There was bits of audio here and there, but luckily I had the mixers still. The mixers were still there in the session, because when I'd bounced down to the mix.
So you're rebuilding it from sub mixes instead of
but it's like, that's so fucking annoying. It is. And there's nothing that does that. You've actually physically got it. So now I've learnt my lesson every time before I, okay, shit, is everything there?
So
great.
I'll tell you how I do it.
Source Elements product that lets you move your whole projects in a zip file.
It doesn't hunt down the audio files. You have to have.
Why not?
So this is what's called consolidating your Pro Tools session.
Because it can't read.
And you said because they can't read the Pro Tools file.
No one can
get into it.
Nobody
can.
Avid ended that. So here's a little thing for the Pro Tools users, at least the way I deal with it. And I don't know, Robbo, how you do with it, but I'm done with the Pro Tools session. I'll go over to the browser, and I'll scoot over to the section of the browser where you're looking at all the audio files, and you can sort it by path. Mm-hmm. And then so then you're looking at it, and you go to the top of the path. It's like,
whatever
you look at like all the way through to audio files. So the root level all the way to the audio files folder is the same. You go down to the bottom, and then you'll see if you have anything that's different. And if you have anything that's different, you just highlight those files, you right click, and you say copy and relink. And
I think the same. Yeah, that's the one I do too. Because that's the easiest way, right? Yeah, and it's the only confidence way that you can do it too, really.
Yep. And then you can move that session around as a self-contained thing.
See, this is why I like Twisted Wave. Insert laughter.
Okay, but Twisted Wave to rebrand a complete radio station is probably a little difficult.
I'm just kidding. It's a single track editor.
It does multi-track now.
All my imaging seems to be cold voice. Yeah.
What do you want? Yeah. It's all mono too. What the hell?
Exactly.
Well, that was fun. Is it over?
The Pro Audio Suite, with thanks to Tribooth and Austrian Audio. Recorded using Source Connect. Edited by Andrew Peters and mixed by Robbo. Got your own audio issues? Just ask Robbo.com. With tech support from George the Tech Whittam. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join in the conversation on our Facebook group. To leave a comment, suggest a topic, or just say g'day, drop us a note at our website, theproaudiosuite.com.